Dennis Allen this second? Honest question. Like, honestly, he's a defensive-minded coach. But what does he do well? Seriously, what does he do well? Develops DBs? Sure. Into what? Players that just get endless amounts of pass interference calls, players who can't tackle, players who can't make plays. That's what we want to do? I mean, you forced 3 interceptions today on Baker Mayfield. I believe only one of those ended up as a touchdown. Not okay. 27 points in 1 quarter and nothing else. Unbelievable. Honest question. Like, seriously, what does Dennis Allen do well? Nearly 600 yards. 50-plus points. That hasn't happened since 2012 against the New York Football Giants. Unbelievable. 317 yards through the air. Averaging 8 yards a carry. So I ask you again, what does Dennis Allen do well? I can tell you, he loses games. He's really good at that. He's really, really good at that. So, before we get into injury news, before we get into my full recap, highs, lows, everything in between, not a lot of highs, but definitely some here. What should they do, man? Fire him or keep him? And if you say keep him, you're going to have to write a book as to why. Because he's not good. He's simply not good. He's a bad head coach. He's a loser. He does not want to win. That's how this thing works. He doesn't want to win. He is a loser. He is a historical loser. His teams have always been losers. And I'm not going to apologize for hating on a coach that literally can't win football games. He cannot maintain an above 500 record. How can you have the first 2 weeks you had this year and then the previous 4 and look like you could lose to a JV football team in, like, Zimbabwe? You could literally take a football team. I'm convinced right now you could pick up a group of, let's say, 52 random people from Eastern Asia, Europe, anywhere in there, and they would beat this Dennis Allen Saints team because the Saints defense can't tackle. The Saints defense can't force turnovers outside. Well, they can force turnovers, but they can't get points off of turnovers. So what does he do well? Nothing. Now I'm calmed down a little bit. This game was not good. A lot of injuries here. So all of these players left the game. Jonathan Abram, Alontae Taylor, and Brian Brzee did at one point in time return. Bub Means also got banged up at one point in time. He returned for very limited action. It's just a lot of injuries here, man. It's not okay. It's very unfortunate, and it's one of those things where, sure, injuries are a big problem. That's not something to, just disregard. You don't have Taysom Hill. You don't have Eric McCoy. Kendre Miller wasn't active. Maybe if he was, the Saints could have been better on the ground. Still a mystery as to why they activated him off of IR and then didn't have him play. Alontae Taylor was pretty solid today. Tyrann Matheiu and Chris Olave left very early in the game. So, injuries, they hurt this team. Will Harris was placed on IR earlier this week. So your two safeties for most of the game were Jonathan Abram and Jordan Howden. And then when Jonathan Abram got hurt, it was JT Gray and Jordan Howden. And then Jonathan Abram returns. There you go. So, bad day. Bad day in terms of injuries. Well, let's talk about Spencer Rattler here. A lot of people in the live chat. And I'm not necessarily sure if it's Saints fans that are just upset. I don't know if it's fans of other teams. I don't know if it's Derek Carr blowhards. I don't know. I don't know who it is. But people say that Spencer Rattler sucks. I'm going to say this. For a rookie debut, that second interception was late. The game was already out of reach. What the hell ever. Not a good play call. Not a good play, but whatever. Doesn't matter. You're trying to just make something happen. But, I mean, at times, he really did some good stuff. He was really impressive, not just in the air, but with his legs as well. Spencer Rattler finished the day as the second leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints, 4 carries for 27 yards. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say he was perfect. He took 5 sacks today. He wasn't amazing, but I think he was still okay. I think he was fine. It's his first ever start. It's his first ever time getting real snaps in the National Football League. So I'm just going to sit here and say this. Was I expecting more? Sure. Am I going to panic over it? Absolutely not. If you want to sit here and say Spencer Rattler sucks, I'm just going to tell you you're wrong. You can have an opinion, you're entitled to it, but it doesn't mean you have to share an incorrect opinion. Spencer Rattler, it's his first ever game. Doesn't matter what team you support, doesn't matter what team you believe in, no matter what kind of quarterback you want. Any quarterback that would have played for the New Orleans Saints today would have been terrible. It would have been bad. Doesn't matter. It would have been bad. And also, a lot of people saying Spencer Rattler sucks. How many missed tackles did Spencer Rattler have? That led to 51 points, huh? How many times did Spencer Rattler have blown coverage, huh? Come on. Like, grow up. Grow up. What are we doing here? I do want to ask you the question, because I think it's a fair question. Jake Haener, very uninspiring last week when he came in for the Chiefs. Just going to say that. I still want Rattler to start next week. Derek Carr will be out for 3 to 4 weeks. That report coming in right before kickoff. So expect Spencer Rattler to be the starter over the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm hoping to see better I'm hoping to see improved production. I'm hoping to see growth and development over the next few weeks. But I'm not sure he's 100% ready to start right now. And that's my take. That's been my take this whole time, for the record. I've always said Spencer Rattler's the future. But right now, the best option is Derek Carr at quarterback. That's just my opinion. It's always what I've been saying. So weigh in right now. Let me know your thoughts. And really quick, if you guys want to get tickets to this big upcoming matchup at the Superdome, Sean Payton's first game back in New Orleans since quote-unquote retiring and then unretiring and then go to a new team and all that crazy stuff. You guys can actually get tickets to it and save some money if you use the Game Time app. When you download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. And you can use those savings to get yourself some gear, maybe even some concessions at a game for LSU, Tulane, the New Orleans Saints. The Pelicans are about to get started. And hey, if you're in a city where the MLB is still rocking and rolling, you can get tickets to the World Series as well. Or not even the World Series, just any of the playoff games still going on. Game Time also has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but once again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara and the rushing attack here. But after that, I want to discuss like the receivers and, who stepped up, because Chris Olave did lead today. So Alvin Kamara got a lot of run. He found the end zone, 60 career rushing touchdowns for the New Orleans Saints. A bad game, pretty cool milestone for him on that regard. That doesn't, mean it was a good game for him, though. The long was 7 yards. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but the Buccaneers averaged more than Alvin Kamara's long. Not ideal. Foster Moreau led the team in receiving today. 2 receptions, 54 yards. Not very active throughout the game. Wish they would have given him more opportunities. You also saw Juwan Johnson get off active as well. He had actually a couple balls that were really, really important plays that got brought back due to penalties. Would have been, I think, a thing that kind of switched the mojo, switched the energy back to the New Orleans Saints, because this game was just back and forth all game long of momentum shift, momentum shift. It's snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. How many vasectomies do you want to have on a person? Or how many vasectomies does a physical whatever. Point being, you know what I'm saying. It was a back and forth game. Bub Means, his rookie debut, he actually had a solid day, 5 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown. Him and Rattler, you could tell there was a connection there, and that all that work that they've been doing in the preseason and in training camp and throughout the offseason has been paying off. So Bub Means and Rattler clearly are a duo that likes or that works together and that can be productive. So I want to see Bub Means continue to play well. With Chris Olave going out today, the question was who was going to step up. Bub Means did step up a little bit. Again, wanted to see more, wanted better production and just across the board for the offense. But Bub Means, for his first debut, he had his first catch today, his first touchdown. Fun fact, Spencer Rattler's touchdown to Bub Means, it's the first time in Saints franchise history a quarterback's first touchdown was thrown to a wide receiver's first touchdown, if that makes sense. So that's kind of a cool little thing. But again, the Saints offense, excuse my French, it was dog water. It was terrible. Just not ideal. Not a fun situation to watch today. Just did not capitalize on opportunities. Could not run the ball. Look, I don't want to be that guy, but Saints need some running back help. Dare I say tank for Ashton Jeanty, because God bless it, we need some help. Really quick reminder to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to cross over to 37,000 subscribers ASAP. And we also provide injury updates, news, rumors, all sorts of stuff, multiple live shows a week. We're going to be talking about coaching changes because this team needs a change. Dennis Allen cannot be the head coach much longer. And really quick, before we move on to the next graphic, injury update around Chris Olave. Dennis Allen announcing that he is officially in concussion protocol. Tyrann Matheiu, he left today, I mentioned it earlier, with a left forearm injury, so that's the designation there for him. Just a lot of injuries, man. A lot of injuries. The Buccaneers offense, we went through it once. We'll go through it again. They made some mistakes, man. They made some mistakes, and the Saints, to their credit, forced turnovers. They made it a thing. But I also will say this. The tackling was atrocious. The officiating was atrocious. Like, it was unbiased, like, as objective as I can possibly say it, this was a horrendously called game. 12 penalties for 86 yards for the Buccaneers. 7 penalties for 70 yards for the Saints. It felt like every other play, there was a flag down. And half the time when the refs were making the call, they didn't even know what number the penalty was on. Or they just didn't, like, it was just a bad called game. Very poorly officiated game. So shame on the NFL and shame on you, NFL officiating. Like, truly, you got to be better. You're professionals. Start acting like it. Sean Tucker, Syracuse football legend. Those of you who remember Will Scott, I know Will was loving this game from Sean Tucker. Absolutely gashed the New Orleans Saints today. But Bucky Irving, he did a phenomenal job too. Saints run defense, it's bad. It's really, really bad. And quite frankly, things need to change right now. Again, like, to their credit, Mike Evans, not much of a factor. But that doesn't mean that they still don't throw the ball well. Jack, I truly am sorry about this, man. Like, Jack was playing against Chris Godwin in fantasy, and he had to deal with this. And I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed that my football team is the one that had to make Jack, hurt a little bit today. Because he blesses with his presence by being the producer. He blesses with our presence by just hanging out and being a big support today. We didn't deserve to do this to Jack. We didn't deserve to do that. And the New Orleans Saints, like, the most frustrating thing about that 55-yard touchdown, that was just a dump off, a check down in a flat. And Chris Godwin just ran up, or just started moving his legs, and the next thing you know, he's in the end zone because the Saints can't tackle. Bad game. Bad game. I really thought this could be an opportunity for the New Orleans Saints to turn things around. That second quarter, I thought they were going to. I thought wrong. So grade the New Orleans Saints versus the Buccaneers. If I could go anything less than an F, I would. But, to their credit, a few good plays here and there, a few things to shine. It's frustrating, man. And unfortunately, I think that this team is a bad squad until further notice. So, Saints fans, I really apologize that this game was bad. I'm upset. You're upset. We all deserve to be upset. But hey, still got a long season, and we're going to be here every step of the way. Y'all stay golden. See you next time.